Now on CoastTV News.
Biting wind chills greeting us out the door this morning. Bundle up, layer up, avoid prolonged exposure outdoors today. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. Temperatures not warming up all that much. The latest timing and projected snowfall totals of our impending coastal storm this weekend coming up.
Plus, working in cold weather. With jobs that need to get done, how people are dealing with the frigid conditions.
Spending strategy shared. Just weeks into 2026, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is ready to roll out budget plans for fiscal year 2027.
And nuclear power proposal, the move made in the Delaware General Assembly that keeps this energy source as a future option.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we continue with our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Today is Thursday, January 29th, 2026.
And as we've established during our time together, Grace's favorite day of the week is Thursday. You are a Thursday girl.
This is huge. The optimism for the weekend. There is a snowstorm coming in. I know that's putting a damper on a lot of people's weekend plans, but you know what? Positivity. You got to look for the good things you can do. You can stay inside, do your dishes, fold your laundry, pay your taxes. Ooh, you could watch some Penn State hockey.
I am.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Saturday afternoon, outdoor Beaver Stadium. That might be just a little too much here, but it is on the agenda.
All right, make it it's a date, Matt Pensick. It's a date.
Yeah, Chris, you might be watching that one too. It'll be, fortunately for that game, Chris, up in Happy Valley, it's going to be cold enough. They won't have to worry about the ice melting up there.
No, they won't.
Oh, definitely not. Good morning, Matt and Grace. We have, some dangerous cold out there this morning as far as the wind chills are concerned. We are sitting here on the frozen docks there in Cambridge, 17 degrees. And check out some of these temperatures. We're down to 9 in Long Neck, 9 in Georgetown, 2 degrees in Harrington. When you factor in the wind, it feels like 7 below in Harrington, 3 below in both Milford and Bridgeville. Feels like 1 degree there in Rehoboth. Now we are dry, clear, and that's really how we're going to stay today. And in fact, the next few days as Arctic high pressure continues to dominate across much of the east, and then all eyes on the weekend and watch how our coastal storm begins to develop. Temperatures getting into the lower 20s, but that's not really the key. The key is going to be the wind chill. We rise from the single digits only into the teens through the afternoon. Now we do have a newly issued winter storm watch for all of our southern counties, Accomack, Worcester. This encompasses Crisfield through Berlin and Ocean City, expecting some sizable snowfall totals there as we go into the weekend. This is going to be an impactful storm for the coast and points south. Wind gusts are going to be in excess of 35 to near 50 miles an hour, especially at the coast as we go into Sunday. Now, there's still some questions as the overall track. How close this system is going to get to the coast will determine how much snow we see. We'll have an early snowfall projection coming up here in a little bit.
And be sure to download the CoastTV app for your phone and your tablet ahead of this projected storm. In case you didn't know, you can also get CoastTV streaming apps for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, as well as Apple TV.
All right, our top story this hour. Our continuing coverage of the temperatures on Delmarva. Temperatures that are still extremely low and temperatures that are at times dangerous. Now, there's a concern for people whose job requires working outside. We went to the Rehoboth Public Works and talked to people there about what you can do if you are in these temperatures.
Don't try to do everything all at once. Take your time, do a little bit at a time. Go in, warm up, drink a hot cocoa, coffee, something to relax you a little bit, and then go out and do a little bit more.
Yeah, I can get behind those warm beverages. According to health experts, the best approach is also wearing several layers of clothing in the winter weather.
A number of school districts will return in-person classes today after staying home due to the snow and extremely cold temperatures. The Milford School District says it will operate under a 2-hour delay. The Laurel School District confirms students will also return under a 2-hour delay, and officials say this is in place for today and tomorrow. The Del Mar School will work under a 90-minute delay, and Wicomico County Public Schools will also work under a 90-minute delay.
University of Maryland Eastern Shore is announcing an update on when students can move in, and this comes after plans were adjusted due to the severe weather. According to the university, students can move in on one of these 3 dates. All the times are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We start with Friday, tomorrow, January 30th. There's also Saturday the 31st, Sunday, February 1st. The university says students who need additional flexibility are allowed to move in through Friday, February 6th.
Salisbury University says campus is now cleared for spring semester move-in. Move-ins run now through February 1st from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with additional evening hours after 8. The university says new students must arrive by 11 a.m. Saturday for orientation, and parking on main campus is limited to unloading only. School officials say classes will remain virtual through Friday, with in-person classes scheduled to return Monday pending weather. It was slow going for motorists on a stretch of interstate in DeSoto County, Mississippi. Icy conditions forcing a partial shutdown of I-55 with a line that extended for miles down the interstate. Officials say road crews will continue to focus on opening all lanes of I-55 and I-22, and they're urging drivers in northern Mississippi to stay off the roads unless it's an emergency.
New this morning, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer expected to present his budget proposal to the Delaware General Assembly later today. The presentation is scheduled for 2 p.m. It's at the Delaware Public Archives, and this comes actually during the same week that House Republicans introduced Bill 282. That is legislation that aims to decrease state spending by 1%.
Happening today in Milton, the town's Special Review Committee is looking at a request filed by Scarlet Oaks Holdings LLC for annexation into the town. It's for the land that we're showing you on your screen now. Last year, Scarlet Oaks indicated it wanted to use the land for commercial space. According to the committee, they plan to discuss the findings of impacts, advantages, disadvantages, cost-benefit analysis, and the committee's advisory report.
Here this morning, Delaware legislation that would extend the Nuclear Energy Feasibility Task Force is moving forward. Senate Concurrent Resolution 129 is now passed both chambers in the General Assembly, and officials say the resolution extends the existence of the task force and puts the deadline for its report at July 31st. Task force is studying the potential for small modular reactors, examining the costs, benefits, and long-term role of nuclear power. 2 border agents who fired their guns in the shooting that killed Alex Preddy now on administrative leave.
But questions remain surrounding the investigation into the shooting, with more Republicans calling for an independent probe. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how now outrage over the shooting could lead to a partial government shutdown.
This morning, the 2 Border Patrol agents who fired their guns in Alex Preddy's fatal shooting in Minneapolis are on administrative leave, according to the Department of Homeland Security, with President Trump's border czar Tom Homan set to speak, looking to ease tensions in a city on edge.
Seeing what's going on in Minnesota, it really breaks my heart.
The Minnesota governor still pressing for federal agents to leave the state, saying he's seen no sign of that.
I have no evidence they have.
All as new video emerged of Preddy in an altercation with federal immigration officers 11 days before he was killed. The footage from online media outlet The News Movement shows Preddy yelling at agents and kicking their SUV, breaking a taillight before agents tackle him. The video does not show what led up to the confrontation. Preddy's family saying they knew about the incident after it happened, adding he posed no threat to anyone and that nothing could possibly have justified his killing. In a separate sign of boiling tensions, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar speaking out after a man rushed and sprayed her at a town hall with what her office now says investigators believe was apple cider vinegar. She blamed rhetoric from President Trump.
The fear and intimidation doesn't work on me.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle condemned the frightening incident.
Political violence or those sort of confrontations should be condemned across the board.
As they work to prevent a partial government shutdown by the end of the day tomorrow, with Democrats dug in against Homeland Security funding without changes to immigration enforcement operations. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
New this morning, the Shine a Light public interview series continues today with a focus on Delaware state parks. Matthew Ritter, director of Denmark's Division of Parks and Recreation, will be interviewed by our very own Madeline Overturf, as well as other journalists. According to officials, the discussion will cover future plans, construction, and how the public is informed about changes in the parks. This all takes place today from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at Lewis Public Library.
New this morning, there's a bipartisan bill in the Delaware General Assembly that could make Delaware the first state in the nation to pass a right to repair law focusing on marine equipment. Lawmakers say House Bill 279 would require boat and engine manufacturers to provide fair access to parts, tools, and repair information. The bill is sponsored by Republican State Rep Rich Collins of Millsboro, and on the Senate side by Democrat Russ Huxtable, who represents parts of Sussex County. House Bill 279 is now pending in the House Transportation Committee.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Coming up, construction consideration, the decision in Ocean Pines on a new addition to its fire department.
Also, cold weather concerns, how you can stay safe in the midst of these extreme lows.
And life-saving response, how a serious crash that nearly took the life of a Sussex County bicyclist is the latest example of a new blood technique used by first responders. It is this week's Coastal Connections, and it's next on Coast TV News Today. Bicycling on trails and roads is a big activity in the communities where we live, but because those cyclists share those roads with cars and trucks, it can sometimes lead to tragedy, and that was nearly the case in one such incident over the summer. But thanks to a good Samaritan, first responders, and a new blood technique, one man who was hit hopes to ride his bike again. A summer bike ride on the Lewis-Georgetown Trail, a ride that was life-changing for Chris Evans.
I guess there was a car coming that I didn't see.
I received a call from BB Hospital, an actual ER nurse who had said my husband was in a severe accident.
He was hit by an SUV which left him with a brain injury, dozens of broken bones, damage to his kidneys and liver.
He had a brain injury as well, so it was very extensive and they did not know if he would survive.
And that is when paramedics helped Evans with a fairly new treatment called whole blood. Whole blood has red blood cells, clotting factors, platelets, and plasma.
Whole blood was the absolute difference. There is no chance that we're here today without whole blood in the back of the ambulance.
The Here Cowan referred to was the Sussex County Public Safety Headquarters in December. It was a reunion between Evans and those who helped save his life.
You're a mess. You're a mess. I've seen some ugly stuff, but you're a mess. And I'm happy to see you sitting here.
Chris is here today with his family to celebrate the holidays, which is the biggest blessing we could ever have.
This whole event made me realize how fragile life really is. And I hope I don't get emotional about it, but I'm here because they do what they do, and that's the basic.
Chris had a walking stick with him on this day, and though he is still working towards a full recovery, Chris Evans is determined to get back to riding his bike. For Coastal Connections, I'm Matt Pensick. Time is 6:17, and you are looking live at ice building up in one of those inlets in Ocean City. We have First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono back with us. In a moment, we are going to show you, it's going to be on the left side of your screen, lower left, a QR code. Scan that to get the First Alert weather app for your phone. Chris, that app's always good to have on every day, but especially on those First Alert days.
Oh yeah, you have the radar on there, you have the hour-by-hour temperatures and all your conditions personalized to your exact zip code, and all the latest watches and warnings. You will get them instantly whenever they are issued. As we take a live look into Salisbury, yes, a frigid start out there. We're down to 10 right now, dew point 5, bone dry. We're down to 2 degrees in Harrington, 9 in Georgetown, 15 in Ocean City. We're holding in the teens at the beaches, so that's the warm spot this morning. 8 below Harrington, 3 below in Milford. Feels like 5 below in Redden. That's why these cold weather advisories remain into effect. And we're going to do this all over again tomorrow. It's going to be another morning of sub-zero wind chills. Cold weather advisories extending to our southern areas, Dorchester, Wycomico, and Worcester counties. We have clear skies across the area. You can see that Arctic air funneling over the warmer Atlantic Ocean. Arctic high pressure building in. Plenty of sunshine, but not that warm. 24 in Georgetown, 26 in Ocean Pines. It will feel more like the single digits and teens throughout the afternoon today. And as I mentioned, by tomorrow morning, we do it all over again once again. Feeling like -2 in Long Neck, 5 below in Ellendale, and then Saturday morning is another bitter morning, feeling like 1 below in Milton, 3 in Lewis as we go into Saturday and Sunday mornings. We are clear, and we're going to stay that way through the day today. Mostly sunny skies. We're clear overnight as well. Clouds will begin to increase late in the day on Friday, ahead of our developing coastal storm. Wind gusts today in excess of 30, 35 miles an hour, producing those blustery conditions. By tomorrow, still seeing wind gusts in excess of 20 miles an hour. We see precipitation chances, not really screaming off the board, but nearly 50% as we go into Sunday. We do have a winter storm watch that is now issued for our southern areas, Crisfield. This is all of Accomack County and Worcester County, and this includes Berlin and Ocean City. As we go into the weekend, we're going to have that powerful area of low pressure develop offshore, and it's all going to be about how close it tracks to the coast. There's going to be a very sharp cutoff between snow at the coast and virtually nothing to the north and west. And you can see that snow will break out late Saturday and then continue into Sunday. Again, the primary impacts are going to be at the coast with snow and wind gusts in excess of 50 miles an hour at times. 3 to 6 inches is our early call from Crisfield through Ocean City down through Lewis, 2 to 4 for most of western Sussex up through Milford and then down through Cambridge, and then really that sharp cutoff coating to an inch northern portions of Delmarva in through the I-95 corridor. Temperatures finally get above the freezing mark into early next week. Grace.
Thank you, Chris, and be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone and your tablet. In case you didn't know, you can also get Coast TV streaming apps for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, as well as Apple TV.
Bethany Beach is keeping a close eye on the coastline as more rain and snow, as we've heard, are expected to move in this weekend. Dune restoration efforts have helped protect the beach in the past, but every big storm brings new fear that the sand could wash away, and people in town tell us it's becoming frustrating.
Our community, they work hard to keep the beaches so that they're big enough for our enjoyment, to go out there and just have fun, and then within the same year that it's fixed, it's gone. Yeah. There's got to be something better that we could do.
And we continue to monitor the potential effect of this storm and the damage it could do to the beach. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how cold is too cold for you? Let's take a look at the updated results. We got some changes in the numbers there, Grace.
We do. Majority of people still voting for anything below 30 degrees. Then next up in the running, below 10. That's pretty insane. Some people saying below 20, 6% saying that it's never too cold.
I might want to question the people who are voting never too cold.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, Matt Bensick, we have a comment coming in from Sharon in Milton, and I think that you two would get along awfully well.
I think so, too. We are doing the Joe Nichols, sunny and 75, so anything below that, it's a bit too cold.
Anything below that? Below beach weather?
Below beach weather.
Oh, Matt, that's not your favorite. Well, if you haven't voted yet, there's still time to do so. You can go to our Coast TV News app, or you can visit coasttv.com. And because of the weather, the Polar Bear Plunge in Rehoboth, sadly benefiting the Special Olympics, has been postponed. The nonprofit is citing the severe weather conditions that are on the way. And February 27th to March 1st have been named as makeup dates.
Up next, construction consideration, the next steps in Ocean Pines after a decision regarding emergency crews, and we'll be back on Coast TV News Today.
The Ocean Pines Association Board unanimously approved a construction contract for a new fire station. Construction is expected to take about 60 weeks once crews break ground, possibly as early as next month. The more than $6 million project replaces the current station that was built in 1981, which firefighters say now is out of code, overcrowded, and no longer meets the department's needs.
Growth on the coast, we know it's a big issue. We have growing pains because everyone wants to live here, but it comes at a cost. Roads, infrastructure, development, loss of open space, all of that creates conflict and concerns.
Coast TV News has investigated all the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. On February 4th at 7 p.m., join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand the price of paradise, growth on the coast.
A frigid Thursday on Delmarva as we step out the door this morning to sub-zero wind chills. Taking a live look into Ocean View where it is 13 degrees and a cold, dry day. Plenty of sunshine through Ocean City, Fenwick Island. Temperatures are going to get in the low 20s, but the wind chills are going to stay in the lower teens through the day with wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. And you can see 22 by noon in Lewis and Rehoboth, and those gusts are going to be with us through the afternoon, making it feel much, much colder than what these temperatures are showing. 20s, mid to upper 20s through Cambridge and Crisfield as we stay pretty dry and just bone-chillingly cold along the eastern shore. Barbara Collins of Pocomoke City, Maryland, congratulations there on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. And you can always call our Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. I'll have the latest on our coastal storm this weekend in the next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on Coast TV News today, a Nuclear Energy Committee continues how efforts to study the possibility in Delaware are moving forward.
Also, Delaware budget presentation. Governor Matt Meyer is set to talk about 2027 while there's a bill focusing on the 2026 budget.
And staying warm outside. How to be safe without sacrificing outside exercise. Coast TV News today continues after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
Running dedication in the cold.
The most important thing is make sure you're wearing layers.
The big freeze is not stopping runners, how they stay protected from the elements.
Biting wind chills greeting us out the door this morning. Bundle up, layer up, avoid prolonged exposure outdoors today. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. Temperatures not warming up all that much. The latest timing and projected snowfall totals of our impending coastal storm this weekend coming up.
Plus, nuclear next steps. Delaware continues its look at bringing some small modular reactors online.
And fiscal focus. Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is set to reveal his spending plans for 2027, while some House Republicans are pitching a reduction to the 2026 budget.
This is Coast TV News Today.
January 29th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for joining us today.
6:30 a.m. and get this, we are nearing the end of January.
It's been a long stretch. It's been a good chunk of time. I feel like a lot of people feel like New Year's was a good while
ago.
I wonder if people are still sticking to their habits. Elisa Weber joked yesterday that if someone asked her what day of the week it was, she'd be like, it's actually January 38th. It's
38th, yeah.
Yeah, it's feeling like
a long month. I think everyone's, with the week that we've had, with the snow,
my goodness,
and the delays, and the closures, and the, I don't know if we want to go good news, but the interesting news is Chris Mastrobono we might do that all again
Rinse
in this
and
upcoming
repeat.
Weekend. Let's bring in Chris, and he's in the Weather Center.
Good morning, Grace and Matt. And yeah, it's in actually areas that were spared with our last storm and didn't see all that much snow are going to see the opposite with this storm. It's going to be kind of a reverse storm, a coastal storm, as we will see over the weekend. 13 right now in Ocean View, and boy, we have some bitter air on the peninsula. 2 degrees in Harrington. We're at 9 in Georgetown, 3 in Redden, 12 in Milton, but it's really these wind chills. It feels like 0 in Long Neck and Rehoboth. It feels like 8 below in Harrington, 3 below in Milford. So dangerous cold out there this morning, so dress accordingly. Avoid prolonged exposure outdoors as this Arctic high pressure continues to dominate throughout much of the eastern half of the country. Plenty of sunshine we're going to have today, but only getting up to 24, feeling like 12, and that's during the warmest part of the day. Now we have newly issued winter storm watches. These encompass Accomack, Worcester County, including Ocean City, down through Crisfield, and this is going to be the zone where we do expect to see the highest snowfall totals as we go into the storm system over the weekend. Now the greatest impacts are going to be at the beaches, where we're going to see snow and wind gusts up to 50 mile an hour in excess of that. With the threat of coastal flooding, we are expecting a full moon on Sunday, so that coinciding with a strong northeast flow could produce some coastal flooding. So that's something we're going to pay close attention to as we go into the weekend. We'll talk more about the coastal storm and when we may finally get above the freezing mark in that full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone and tablet. You can also get the Coast TV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
And as we've been talking about all week, these temperatures on Delmarva are still extremely low and can be dangerous for those who are out in the cold. But this doesn't stop people who want to get their daily exercise in. We spoke to people on Delmarva about what to do and how to stay warm in these conditions.
Your body's going to warm up, but you want to make sure that if it is below freezing, you want to be covering all extremities. The most important thing is make sure you're wearing layers.
And according to health experts in Dorchester County, people should wear at least 3 layers when heading outside in these extremely low conditions.
Got a number of school districts returning to in-person classes today after staying at home due to the snow and extremely cold temperatures. Milford School District says it is operating under a 2-hour delay. Laurel School District confirming students will also return under a 2-hour delay. And officials say this is not only in place today, they got that 2-hour delay for tomorrow as well. Delmar working under a 90-minute delay. Wicomico County Public Schools also working under a 90-minute delay. The unrelenting cold hitting much of us has continued for an exceptionally long stretch, and as we said earlier, Grace, there is more on the way.
That frigid air is set to blanket the eastern half of the U.S. all the way as down south as Florida. Reed Binion showing us how the chill will be inescapable, even in places like Miami, where the temperature could drop down to the mid-30s.
Our lows will get into the negatives, as low as -3 or 4.
Officials in Washington, D.C. warning the brutal winter weather isn't over.
Current forecast is for 10 days. This is going to be one of the top 5 longest running cold streaks on record.
This as Washington is still dealing with the crippling effects of the Arctic blast.
Very cold weather that has turned that snow and ice into solid, almost concrete-like conditions.
D.C. isn't alone, and the severe winter weather doesn't appear to be over. With millions of people in the U.S. already shivering amid the extended cold air outbreak, one of the longest in decades for some, it's likely to get more brutal in the coming days. The eastern half of the country is set to get hit with a new push of bitter air, making temperatures plunge even further Friday through Monday. Upwards of 200 daily cold temperature records could be broken as far south as Florida. Weekend temperatures could drop more than 30 degrees below normal in some areas, especially in the east, and in the south, which is still coping with massive power outages from the last dose of icy weather.
We're trying our best to get all of our 3-phase major lines back on. The weather conditions, trees are still falling, limbs are falling.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
New this morning, today, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is expected to present his budget proposal to the Delaware General Assembly. The presentation is scheduled at 2 p.m. at the Delaware Public Archives. This comes during the same week House Republicans introduced Bill 282, that legislation aiming to decrease state spending by 1%.
Also today, Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings is expected to hold a press conference to announce a new initiative supporting survivors of domestic violence. And joining her is Sue Ryan. She's the executive director of the Delaware Coalition Against Domestic Violence. This is scheduled for this afternoon at 2. It's at the Caravel State Office building in Wilmington.
Happening today in Milton, the town's Special Review Committee is looking at a request filed by Scarlet Oaks Holdings LLC for annexation into the town. It's for the land that you can see on your screen now. Last year, Scarlet Oaks indicated that it wanted to use the land for commercial space. According to the committee, they plan to discuss the findings of impacts, advantages, disadvantages, cost-benefit analysis, as well as the committee's advisory report.
Delaware legislation that would extend the Nuclear Energy Feasibility Task Force continues to move forward. According to state officials, Senate Concurrent Resolution 129 is now passed both chambers in the General Assembly. Officials say the resolution extends the existence of the task force and puts the deadline for its report at July 31st. The task force is studying the potential for small modular reactors and examining the cost, benefits, and long-term role of nuclear power.
New this morning, a bipartisan bill in the Delaware General Assembly could make Delaware the first state in the nation to pass a right to repair law focused on marine equipment. Lawmakers say House Bill 279 would require boat and engine manufacturers to provide fair access to parts, tools, and repair information. The bill is sponsored by State Representative Rich Collins of Millsboro and State Senator Russell Huxtable, who represents parts of Sussex County. According to state leaders, House Bill 279 is now pending in the House Transportation Committee.
The Border Patrol agents involved in the shooting of Alex Preddy have been placed on administrative leave, according to DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin. The announcement came the same day the department distanced itself from its initial statement on the shooting. Now, shortly after the shooting on Saturday, DHS said Preddy violently resisted Customs and Border Protection. A department spokesperson now says that an investigation is underway, and DHS will let the facts lead the investigation. We have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, weather health impacts, how the colder conditions could be dangerous, according to doctors.
Also, Route 13 rivalry. Seaford goes for the regular season sweep of Laurel tonight in boys basketball.
Well, it's been a while since we've had sub-zero wind chills so widespread over the peninsula. We have clear skies in Laurel, 15 degrees, and it has been a bitter morning. It feels like 0 in Georgetown, 0 in Lewis, 5 degrees in Cambridge, and we have plenty of clear skies, and we're going to have a really nice sunny day, but a very cold one at that. Highs only reaching the lower to mid-20s from Lewis, Rehoboth to Dewey. Touch 26 there in Chincoteague, 24 through Ocean City and Bethany Beach. But more importantly, the wind gusts are near 35 miles an hour, making it feel like the single digits and teens. I'll have the latest on our coastal storm threat here in a few minutes.
A long-time community staple in Del Mar is closing its doors at the end of the month. Bryan in Brittingham has been serving people for more than 74 years. And in times of severe weather, like what we're seeing now, the full-service feed and hardware store has sold crucial supplies to neighbors. They are closing as of Saturday to spend more time with the family.
The Beach Heroes of Ocean City have announced February cleanup dates. Officials say on February 3rd from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. cleanups will take place on 82nd Street in the Rope Walk parking lot. On February 7th from 10 a.m. to noon on 127th Street North Side. On February 10th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the County Recycling Center. And the last two dates on February 17th also from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the Saltwater 75 parking lot, and on February 24th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the 65th Street and the Rick's Market parking lot.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
On the court, Seaford hosts Laurel in boys basketball, which you can find live on DSN tonight at 6:30. These Henlopen South rivals met just over a month ago, with the Blue Jays handing the Bulldogs an 8-point loss on their home court. Seaford, they are battle-tested. Not only have they already played Laurel, but they've played some of the best competition in the entire state of Delaware. And they have had slip-ups against nobody but the best of the best, like St. George's Tech, who they actually played the day after they won against Laurel last month, and they lost on the road by 12. Their most recent loss, well, you'd have to go back to the 6th of this month, when again on the road against a loaded Middletown team. They had a first-half lead, but they ended up losing by 15 points. Talked to Coach Vince Evans earlier this week, and he stressed to us, we know we have the talent, right? His son, Vince Evans III, one of the best players in the Henlopen. Swag Matthews, his partner, and his cousin, he's an elite player as well. But it's been the third quarters that have really been a damper this season for Seaford. The issues haven't been there over the last few games. They've won 5 in a row ever since they lost to Middletown. They'll look to make it 6 straight tonight against Laurel. Again, you can catch that game live on DSN. Have a great day, Delmarva.
And here's what's coming up tonight on DSN. As you just saw, it's that big game in the Henlopen South when Laurel makes the short trek to Seaford. Along with that game, here are your DSN Plus exclusives at 4. Those same two schools, they meet on the court in girls basketball, and then we have a couple of boys basketball matchups for you starting at 5:30. Parkside visits Snow Hill. North Dorchester is at Saints Peter and Paul, and at 5:45, Delmar hosts Woodbridge.
If you're having a rough week and you're just tired of this cold, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Well, do you love celebrating all things local, whether it's local businesses to explore, restaurants to eat at, boutiques to shop around at? Well, we've got it for you every day, Monday through Friday, here on Coast Life, and you can find it when you join us today at 4.
Biting wind chills are greeting you out the door this morning, as low as -8 this morning, and it's going to continue into tomorrow, and then all eyes on the weekend as a coastal storm will bring snow, wind, and potential coastal flooding to the coast. I'll have the latest next.
Oh my goodness. I'm distracted by this cold temperatures that we're having. I'm looking down at the temperature. Chris, the feels like was 5 degrees this morning. I don't think I can divert my attention away from that.
Yeah, we're seeing some areas, believe it or not, as low as -8. Incredible cold across the area this morning. As we take a live look into Ocean View, we have clear skies, 13 degrees, and boy, we have some bitter cold, 4 degrees in Redden and Harrington, but more importantly, the wind chill. 8 below Harrington, 3 below in Milford. It's been a while since we've seen cold like this. 0 feeling like in both Rehoboth and Long Neck. That's why those cold weather advisories are in effect. And these actually run through tomorrow morning. So what we're seeing on the board right now, we're going to do it all again tomorrow morning, unfortunately, across most of the Delmarva Peninsula, as those cold weather advisories will likely be reissued for our southern counties. But we're going to continue to see clear conditions, sunny skies, but yeah, that Arctic high pressure is going to continue to dominate throughout much of the eastern half of the country. Mostly sunny skies. We top out in the low to mid 20s. Wind gusts in excess of 30 miles an hour will make it feel like the single digits and teens during the warmest part of the day. By tomorrow morning, we're back to feeling like anywhere between 0 to -6 across the area. And then still by even Saturday morning, single digits to below 0 wind chills as we await a coastal storm. Clear skies through the afternoon and into the overnight. We fall once again into the single digits as we go into Friday morning, and then those clouds will begin to increase. Wind gusts today in excess of 30 miles an hour, and we'll continue to see breezy conditions into the day on Friday. Precipitation chances begin to ramp up into the weekend. That's ahead of our coastal storm. We have newly issued winter storm watches for Accomack, Worcester County. These kick into effect Saturday morning and run through Sunday afternoon. We have a powerful area of low pressure that's going to be taking shape across the southeast coast as the polar and subtropical jets converge here along the eastern seaboard. How close does this system get still is a question mark, but we are expecting snow to begin late in the morning on Saturday for our southern areas. Most of the heart of Delmarva begins late in the afternoon on Saturday. But you could see that sharp cutoff. This is primarily a coastal event because the far north and west you go, that sharp snow cutoff is going to be there. Now, the further the system tracks west, we're going to continue to push that snow further inland. But right now, we think the greatest impacts are going to be primarily at the beaches. We think 3 to 6 inches right now from, say, Rehoboth down through Ocean City, right through portions of Snow Hill, right along 113 there, down through Chincoteague, Crisfield. Then we're 2 to 4 from Cambridge, Salisbury through Georgetown, Milford, and then there's that sharp cutoff, coating to an inch, basically right along the I-95 corridor and northern portions of Delmarva. We'll fine-tune that snow map later on this afternoon once we get more data in. We have a yellow alert in play for Saturday night into Sunday for that snow, and that snow will come to an end by Sunday midday, and then we slowly begin to get above the freezing mark as we go into early next week. Matt.
Thank you, Chris, and be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone and tablet, and you can also get the Coast TV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Extreme cold warnings are in effect this week as wind chills could drop into the negative temperatures. There are plenty of frozen and slick surfaces still covering Delmarva, and doctors are warning icy conditions can quickly lead to serious injuries. With the frigid cold, doctors are now urging people to take extra precautions when heading outside.
It doesn't take long for somebody to take a misstep, even if they're just going from their garage into their house, having a fall just in the wrong direction and ending up needing a surgery to repair it.
Doctors recommend limiting time outdoors, wearing layers, covering exposed skin, and checking in on neighbors, especially the elderly.
The Delaware Department of Health and Social Services continuing operating the warming centers today through January 30th, and they will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Sussex County, they are at the Shipley State Service Center, Adams State Service Center, and Laurel State Service Center. Kent County, it's the Williams State Service Center and Smyrna State Service Center. A couple of them are in Newcastle County, Canby Park Office, Claymount State Service Center, and Churchman's Corporate Center.
The time is now 6:52 a.m. and we are celebrating in our studio this morning, Matt, because it's our Coastal Pet's birthday.
This is exciting. On your screen is Tashi, and we imagine Tashi has a smile just as big, if not bigger, on her face right now as She basks all day in that birthday love, and we appreciate that Tashi watches Coast TV News every morning.
I think Tashi deserves a very special pup cup. You ever go through a Starbucks drive-thru and you get a little cup of whipped cream? I don't know if you would do that with your cats.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not
That's
an option.
That's reserved for dogs, especially dogs who are celebrating their birthday.
I've heard about the pup cups.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to send us photos of your pup or your cat, you can send us photos to Coast TV. And if you take a look at your screen now.
Yeah, maybe you got a lizard too as a pet.
Oh, a reptile, a
Yeah,
fish.
lizard. Scan that QR code at the top of your screen to submit your friend to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
The time is now 6:55 a.m. Time for the things you need to know before you go. Today, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is expected to present his budget proposal to the Delaware General Assembly. That presentation is scheduled for 2 p.m. at the Delaware Public Archives, and this comes during the same week House Republicans introduced Bill 282, that legislation aiming to decrease state spending by 1%.
We continue to experience temperatures on Delmarva that are extremely low and can be dangerous for those out in the cold, but that doesn't stop people from getting in their daily exercise. According to health experts in Dorchester County, people should wear at least 3 layers when heading outside in these extremely low temperatures. And we have one final check with First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono on it's another cold morning. I feel like we say this every morning, Grace.
The bone-chilling cold is what Chris
How
says.
many adjectives, Chris, can we come up with to describe the temperature? I'm running out of them because
We need a dictionary.
Yeah.
Clever ones here over the next few days because we're going to do it all again tomorrow morning too. In fact, unfortunately, we've seen wind chills as low as -8 this morning. We gradually, and I mean gradually, begin to rise here through the morning, only feeling like 11 to say 13, 14 degrees on the peninsula through the warmest part of the day, and that's with sunny skies. Now, as we take a look at our 10-day forecast, temperatures right in the lower 20s into Friday. In fact, we could challenge a record cold high on Friday. We do have yellow alerts in play for Saturday night through Sunday. Watching that coastal storm, expecting some impacts primarily at the beaches. It's going to be a sharp cutoff between snow at the coast and snow to our western and northwestern areas. And we're looking at temperatures finally getting above the freezing mark as we go into the early part of next week. And overall, looks like next week's pretty quiet with a chance of some snow showers there on Thursday.
Thank you for that, Chris, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News today.
I noticed a groundhog on Chris's forecast. Looking forward to that one. All right, today's show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And don't forget to download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Thursday morning, everybody.